Hello, Zedekai1219 here, and here I have the Gladio review. Alright, I'll talk in a more frank tone. As always, thanks to DB for some of the English translated names and Famita for all the info I gathered. Without further ado, let's get into this character. God, I didn't want to do this overview. Gladiolus is skill 1, Tempest, raises his rate by 150% of his attack, and triggers a 4-hit group melee breathe plus HP attack, which deals proportional damage. It has a times 1.6 single target multiplier, 150% overflow, raises party rate by 20% of damage dealt, and grants 2 levels of King's Shield to himself and Royal Guard to his allies, both for 10 turns. The skill has 6 uses in total. The buff, King's Shield, has a maximum level of 10, which so far has never been seen on a buff, and its level goes up whenever Gladio gets hit by an attack. It lowers brief damage taken by 60% and HP damage taken by 20%, and raises defense by 80%. Depending on the level, his max rate and attack are raised, and both values goes from 4% at 1 level up to 40% at 10 levels. On the other hand, the buff, Royal Guard, lowers the user's brave damage taken by 60% and HP damage taken by 20%. Additionally, if the user becomes the target of a single target attack, Gladio will cover the user and take damage instead, in a similar fashion to Galuf. Gladiolus' skill 2, Dawn Hammer, raises his brave by 150% of his attack, and triggers a 6-hit group melee brave plus single target HP attack. It has a times 1.6 single target multiplier, 150% overflow, raises party rate by 20% of damage dealt, inflicts 40% max brave down on all targets for 4 turns, and grants Pride of the Crown's Guard for 6 turns. This skill has 8 uses in total. The buff, Pride of the Crown's Guard, raises Gladio's max brave and attack by 40%. As for notable passives, Gladio's C54 moderately raises his max brave and speed while buff, his C58 slightly raises the party's max brave and attack while Gladio is buff, and his C68 slightly raises party's max HP and attack. Gladiolus' LD, Rising Impulse, raises his brave by 200% of his attack, and triggers an 8-hit group melee brief plus HP attack which deals proportional damage. It has a times 1.6 single target multiplier, 200% overflow, raises party rate by 20% of damage dealt, and grants 3 turns of Perfect Guard. This skill has 3 uses in total. The buff, Perfect Guard, makes Gladio take 0 brave and HP damage and becomes immune to debuffs. Additionally, if he takes any form of damage from an enemy, he will counter by raising his attack by 150% of his attack and triggering a 3-hit melee brave plus HP attack. The counter also deals 50% splash damage, raises party brave by 20% of damage done, and inflicts 8 turns of knockdown on the target. The debuff, Knockdown, lowers attack and defense by 40%. The limit breaks are shown above. Please pause the video to read them at your own leisure. Gladiolus' EX, Maelstrom, is a 6-hit melee brave plus HP attack executed twice. It has 120% overflow, raises party brave by 150% of its attack, and grants 2 levels of Trials of Gilgamesh for 8 turns. Its recast speed is slow. The buff, Trials of Gilgamesh, much like King's Shield, has a maximum level of 10, and its level goes up whenever Gladio gets hit by an attack. It raises the party's attack and slow and brave overflow limit, and it grants party HP regen. The attack and overflow limit values goes from 22% at 1 level up to 40% at 10 levels. The HP regen value goes from 2% of said party members' max HP up to 20% of max HP. The limit breaks are shown above. Please pause the video to read them at your own leisure. If Gladiolus' EX is realized, Maelstrom gets a tremendous potency boost and now deals 20% splash damage on the last HP attack. His bonus sphere, HP attack Raging Attack All, raises the party's attack by 2% if the user takes HP damage up to 5 times. At 1 out of 3, Gladio's attack and max brave are raised by 40%. At 2 out of 3, he will start out with Pride of the Crown's Guard for 6 turns and 2 levels of Trials of Gilgamesh for 8 turns. Additionally, the first skill he uses is free, excluding certain abilities. At 3 out of 3, Maelstrom becomes a 4-hit melee brave plus HP attack executed thrice with a tremendous potency boost. It now brave heals himself by 20% of damage done after the first and second HP attacks, and now has 150% overflow. Additionally, Gladio will now gain access to Brave double plus and HP double plus while Pride of the Crown's Guard is active. Brave attack double plus raises party weight by 70% of attack and triggers a 2-hit melee Brave attack, while HP attack double plus raises Gladio's Brave by 100% of attack and triggers a 2-hit melee Brave plus HP attack. This has 120% overflow and raises party Brave by 20% of damage dealt. As for artifact recommendations, I would recommend attack plus 1 away and max Brave plus 330. If necessary, max Brave plus 330 can be replaced with the C50 artifact, Survival Skills up 2-star, which raises his max HP by 15%. Finally, his C65, HP Heal and Boost All, slightly recovers his own HP and grants a small party max Brave up effect for 3 turns. This has 3 uses in total. Gladiolus makes a crashing debut as a cover type tank who takes all damage for his allies. He has everything you can expect from a support character: massive auras, heavy batteries, brave and HP damage reduction, and HP regen. With perfect guard, he can nullify all damage and hit back harder by countering and inflicting a debuff, further allowing the party to deal more damage. Additionally, he is a more than capable DPS, dealing heavy damage with all of his skills, especially his ZX. Even without an LD extension, he wrecks Lufenias as a viable party member for 8 months. The only places I know where he could get locked out are stages that consistently wipe buffs, but even those types of stages aren't that common. I would highly recommend Gladio if you need a tank for your Lufenia needs. God, I'm finally done with Gladio's overview. I hope I won't be forced to do any more of them.
Do a lightning overview.
God fucking damn it!